Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. My name is Coach Ro from rocioflores.com, and today I'm doing my daily live Bible reading. I am on day 15. Oh, 15. Wow, that sounds like a lot. I'm on day 15 of the new year, and today we're reading Job chapters 12 through 13, 15. So not chapter 15, but through verse 15. I know this is backwards for you guys, but yeah. I don't know if I posted yesterday's onto my Instagram, but I did share it there for the day, and then I also uploaded it onto my YouTube. So I will be uploading this onto my YouTube because it's like a collection of the readings. So like my husband, I think he's just listening to them instead of like reading along with me on here. Hello. So if you're watching this later, I'm saying hello to random people on the screen. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and answer. Remember, we've got Job talking to his friends, and so he's going back and forth between one friend and another friend, and one friend, another friend, one friend, another friend. The third friend finally finished talking. Now Job is answering him, the friend named Zophar. I'll just get started. Alright. Then Job answered, "No doubt you are the people, and wisdom will die with you. But I also have a mind. I'm not inferior to you. Who doesn't know the things you're talking about?" Oh, I like that. Okay. Because, like, remember, they keep telling him things about, like, the nature of God and what God would or wouldn't do, or the normal consequences of having done good or bad things. So it makes sense for him to be like, I know these things. I'm a righteous man. I already know these things. Okay. I am a laughingstock to my friends by calling on God who answers me. The righteous and upright man is a laughingstock. The one who is at ease holds calamity and contempt, and thinks it is prepared for those whose feet are slipping. The tent of robbers are safe, and those who provoke God are secure. God's power provides this. I never paid attention to that sentence. The one that says, the one who is at ease holds calamity and contempt, and thinks it is prepared for those whose feet are slipping. I read this whole thing on, like, it's like it was just a Facebook post, but I think it explained it really well. This idea that, like, people whose lives are pretty good tend to think that people whose lives aren't good is because they're making their lives not good, and not because bad things can happen at any moment and anybody can fall down that wayside. They tend to think, well, I'm good, and because I'm good and things are good in my life, it's because I am good, and not so much because things are just happen to be good for me. So I kind of like how it says, like, the one who's at ease holds calamity, right? That's a bad thing, contempt. And it thinks it's for those people whose feet are slipping, so for people who are already doing just bad things, and that bad things only happen to bad people. That's kind of how people see religion too. I mean, that's how I saw religion before I ever believed in anything. That's how I know a lot of people who don't believe in religion, that's their view of religion, is that, you know, it's people do good and good things happen to you, and so then that means that if I do good, good things happen to me, which means that then when they're doing good and good things don't happen to them, they don't feel so good, because then they're freaking out about, like, but I was doing the right thing, why are bad things still happening to me? Am I the exception? Does that make me why is it that I'm having these bad things happen to me? Which then either turns into, like, contempt for yourself, contempt for the world, or contempt for God. So yeah. Okay, let me go back. Okay, where was I? Verse 6. The tents of robbers are safe, and those who provoke God are secure. God's power provides this. Okay, I had already read that. Okay. But ask the animals, and they will instruct you. Ask the birds of the sky, and they will tell you. Or speak to the earth, and it will instruct you. Or let the fish of the sea inform you. Which of all these does not know that the hand of the Lord has done this? The life of every living thing is in his hand, as well as the breath of all mankind. Hello. So, like, I really like this because I'm not sure exactly where I learned this part, but they say like that God reveals himself in different. So when it comes to religious ideology, there's different ways for people to come about the beliefs of religion, whether it's this faith or other faiths. I remember taking a class and they said there's different kinds of revelation. So, you know, for some it's like it was revealed to them by their own personal experience, There's revelations through word, which would be like reading the Bible, and then there's revelation within the Bible and the Christian faith. One of the revelations is actually the world itself, I guess, like not the world like people, but like creation itself. So what is it called? The book of nature. I'm not sure where they get that term, if I've read it anywhere or if it's just something they use as a term, but the book of nature basically meaning that yes, God came through his word speaking to us, and God speaks to us individually, but he also speaks to us through the creation that's around us. So we can look at the birds and the earth and the fish, and we get instruction from that as to what is nature, which is why it's kind of cool. I like it because it doesn't say, hey, ignore nature, ignore the reality of the world around you, and just forget that that stuff exists. It says, so look at that. That's going to help you understand like how the world works. And like if it's natural for animals to instinctively see that pattern and I guess the sense of how the world works, it should also be for us. And I think he's kind of just being redundant too, saying like even the animals get this, I get this, like you don't gotta be telling me this again, you know? Hello. So again, he's just kind of like driving that point, like I get what you're saying. And then again, doesn't the ear test words as the palate tastes food? Wisdom is found with the elderly, and understanding comes with long life. Okay. Wisdom and strength belong to God. Counsel and understanding on his. Whatever he tears down cannot be rebuilt. Whoever he imprisons cannot be released. When he withholds the water, everything dries up. When he releases them, they destroy the land. True wisdom and power belong to him. The deceived and the deceiver are his. He leads counselors away barefoot and makes judges go mad. He releases the bonds put on by kings and fastens a belt around their waists. He leads priests away barefoot and overthrows established leaders. He deprives trusted advisors of speech, and takes away the elders' good judgment. He pours out contempt on nobles and disarms the strong. He reveals mysteries from the darkness and brings the deepest darkness into the light. He makes nations great, then destroys them. He enlarges nations, then leads them away. He deprives the world's leaders of reason and makes them wander in trackless wasteland. They grope around in darkness without light. He makes them stagger like drunken men. That was long. That was really pretty too. Basically saying he's got the power to do both. You know, he can give you the power, he can take the power away. He can take the power away and then give it to you. He can make you a good leader. He can take that leadership away, which makes sense because if you're God, you know, you could do anything. So then, chapter 13 starts off with that same kind of dialogue. Look, my eyes have seen all of this. My ears have heard and understood it. Everything you know, I know. Or, I also know. Sorry. I am not inferior to you. Yet I prefer to speak to the Almighty and argue my case before God. But you coat the truth with lies. You are all worthless doctors. If only you would shut up and let that be your wisdom. That's messed up. Okay, sorry. He's basically, it's the same point, but it sounds like he's mad. I'm reading this in a very angry kind of tone. He's like saying like, I don't know, I feel like I've heard a lot of people talk like this, like, I have my own relationship with God, don't tell me anything. And I get that. I get the sentiment on both ends of like, where personal level, it's hard to like not feel supported by the people around you and to not feel like you can talk to them without them kind of judging your relationship with God and being like, okay, well, you just must not be good enough, or you must not have a strong enough relationship, you must not be praying enough, you must not be worshiping enough, you must just not be doing enough. Which then kind of makes you want to turn away, and because you know what you're doing, right? On the other hand, being on the opposite end, you could also see how, from a friend perspective, it can look like somebody's not doing anything, but just whining, and you know, it's difficult to be the person who listens to the person who's always complaining. So on both ends, I think either way, it's very human for this to happen, and it's very human for us to be upset about it. Okay. I'll continue now. Hello. Trying to wave hi. Okay. Hear now my argument and listen to my defense. Would you testify unjustly on God's behalf, or speak deceitfully for him? Would you show partiality to him, or argue the case in his defense? Would it go well if he examined you? Could you deceive him as you would deceive a man? Surely he would rebuke you if you secretly showed partiality. Would God's majesty not terrify you? Would his dread not fall on you? Your memorable sayings are proverbs of ash. Your defenses are made of clay. Be quiet, and I will speak. Let whatever comes happen to me. Why do I put myself at risk and take my life in my own hands? Even if he kills me, I will hope in him. I will still defend my ways before him. So, I think he's kind of like talking about how he's still making the decision to like talk to God. And he's trying to make his case against God. So basically, it's kind of like when you're talking to God, I'm like, why is this happening to me? I haven't done anything. I think that's a very normal thing for people to do. It's a very human thing for people to do. Hello. But he's rebuking, or I guess, I don't know if you know what the word rebuke is. It's kind of like, I should have looked that up because I don't have my phone. You're on my phone. I can't look something up. I'll look it up and then I'll show you guys what the word means. But I guess, I don't know, this part gets me confused because he's like talking about how like if you testified against God and you weren't being right, like the expectation is that God's gonna know that, right? Hello. And so that, okay, so I guess the understanding is if I go to God and I know I'm wrong, then I know that God knows that. So there's no purpose of me trying to trick God. So he's saying like, you know, I'm going to allow what happens happen to me. I'm going to put myself at risk. Because I believe in God. I know what I'm saying to God. You know, I think that's how it goes. These parts are a little hard to understand for me just because I feel like he goes back and forth with what he's saying. I don't know what the point he's trying to make is. I don't know if when he says your memorable sayings are proverbs of ash, is he saying that ash, as in like they're not actually like worthy, like they're not substantial? Because then he says your defenses are made of clay, and I guess clay is not substantial until it's been like heated, right? So it's not like strong. I don't know if he's trying to say like what you're saying is BS. I don't know. I'd have to look at that. I was trying to look up like things to look up and understand a little bit more of these conversations, specifically the back and forth between the friends, but I couldn't find anything other than the Bible Project video. If I do find anything, I'll share it with you guys. I might have to look up just like on Google to see if I can get something that kind of breaks down what each of them is saying, because I feel like I get a little confused. Okay, so I'm not done with chapter 13. Tomorrow, finish out chapter 13 and then read all of chapter 14. And then we'll continue from there. Thank you for those of you who jumped on here. Yeah, if you guys have anything to talk about or anything to share or any ideas, or if you're reading along with me, let me know. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. But you have a wonderful day. If you have T-Mobile Tuesdays, make sure you go check and grab your stuff. They're giving away pizza today. And yeah, bye guys. Peace out. I can't reach.